So, as far as like competition, who's your competition in this space?
None.
Not in New York.
You gotta say it with your chest, Alex.
I mean, I don't want to be rude because my co-host decided to make a podcast studio, but none.
So, but do you feel like there's going to be, why is there none? Because
Yeah,
there's just not enough competition, there's not enough studios, or there's no studios that's doing it at the highest level like you guys?
I'm being hyperbolic. Of course, we have competition. There are other podcast studios. Like we weren't the first, but I just feel like we are doing it the best. And so the quality shows and people come back. Like, we don't really have to encourage people. Like we said, we've never paid money for promotion or anything like that. It's like we offer a good service at a great rate, and that's what keeps people coming back.
I think the rate is truly it. Like
yeah, every year we've had to open another studio because of demand.
So where's your studio located at right now?
So we have 2 here in Soho, Canal and Broadway. We have one in Midtown on 38th and 8th. We have LA on Hollywood Boulevard. I forgot the cross street on that one.
And then mobile services in LA and New York.
And then,
speaking
and she keeps saying LA and New York. We have mobile services countrywide.
You have 5
if you got the budget.
5 physical locations.
Yeah. And then working on a 6th.
Where at? Atlanta?
Don't want to say yet.
You should go.
Why? Just say it, because I don't want to go.
You should go to Atlanta.
I want to do it in Toronto. I think
I
Toronto
want to
is
do Atlanta. Thank you.
Did we have this conversation?
No, me and you had this conversation.
Me and you had this conversation.
Because I think he's a nut.
About Toronto.
Here's the
Toronto. No, just one team.
Toronto is an amazing city.
Shout out to Toronto.
They have a big podcast market, love,
Alex,
but they don't have the infrastructure.
I told her this.
Right.
Did you tell him this?
Yeah, I called you about it.
I've been telling her this forever.
And I was like, yeah, you should definitely do this.
Okay, let's talk about 2 things. Fight about it in the comments, okay?
Okay, all right, okay.
Help us earn your leisure.
All right.
Actually, I would love for y'all to dictate where we would do it next, because I truly trust y'all's financial advice. You've both made me money, like seriously. And even when I first started listening, and I've heard so many people say, oh, they got too big now, because you get such big names, but those small companies that were making money like really helped me out when doing WTF Media. I really feel like someone listening to this, like, yeah, sure, it's not Stephen A. Smith, but maybe they thought about starting a brick and mortar space too. And like, it's that average listener. I'm that average listener, you know? So he wants to do Toronto because no podcast studios are there. Duh, it makes sense. We would make less money there because of the conversion rate.
But they have good spending habits in Toronto though.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but
higher prices.
People spend less there. I know that from my live shows. Toronto was one of my most packed rooms. We made the least because they just spend less there. It's just the truth.
They didn't spend less when we went up there. We did 2 shows back to back.
Sold out.
The biggest, that was at Market Monday. That was the only time in history that we had to add an extra show.
We had a great volume. It was our best show. Mm-hmm. However, the ticket cost was less according to Live Nation because of the landscape.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking from firsthand experience because we throw events, right? And we dictate the ticket prices. So like London for us.
Okay, we Live Nation. And
that's what I'm saying. So we dictate our own ticket prices.
Mm-hmm.
London is not a good spending market. Toronto, we had no problem with them spending money. They brought merch.
They did buy merch. That's
the ticket price. We could have actually raised the ticket price. I think we still could have sold out.
We could have had a 3rd show.
I mean, maybe it's the spending habits, like you said, because the income isn't there, the disposable income, right? Now, we're in a fucked up economy anyway, so I'm not to say New Yorkers have mad bread to spend, but here's the thing with Atlanta that I'm feeling connected to.
Is that, that was yours is Toronto, yours is Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we will probably go with Toronto because to me, this is Alex's thing more than mine. And I have more trust in him for that. And LA was kind of the thing I wanted and I got to get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Atlanta, people have been asking for this in Atlanta fucking 3 years since we started.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Atlanta.
You can't go wrong with Atlanta, 1. And 2, I'm shooting with Mandy after the Black Effect Fest. I don't want to be rude, but the fact that I had to book a space and then book a camera team to come in that space, there is no setup like this in Atlanta.
I think Dave Shands has a setup. You know who he is?
No, does he do a
Social Proof podcast?
He came up to me in the
Sleepers for Suckers.
He has a content
studio.
It's pretty nice.
It's been very difficult to find, and the other thing is WTF Media now has a almost like the pillars. You kind of know how it works when you walk in. You know what to expect when you're receiving it. And I love that we have an aesthetic to how we're treating the client, to how they're receiving things. They just get it. It's seamless. We have a director of comms who's managing all of them. Like, you kind of talk to the same people. I love that. And I feel like Atlanta's very confusing when I'm trying to book shit, which is insane because all the goddamn Black people there making content. How is it so fucking difficult to make content? Like,
I mean, it's a good market for sure.
It is.
Yeah, it's a good market. I never said it was.
He's right. There are studios that exist. And then to Alex's point, he said all of the big shows already have a home base.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Who's the big shows in Atlanta? 85 South?
85 South, Port Mines.
Yeah. Well, the 85 South has their own company.
They have their own company.
Yeah,
Port Mines shoots out.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
But it's a lot of up and coming.
Yeah, who are
Everybody.
white ones? We need to get the white ones.
The white ones, but then not the big shows, but just everybody that's just trying to have a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, again, the big shows really, it doesn't matter, right? They're not making us the most bank anyway. Like, I think 70% of our clientele is somebody that's spending, like I said, in the 300. Yeah, 250 to 300. But, Ian actually told us, we had a conversation with Ian who was telling us that we needed to raise our prices. And we got into a really deep back and forth with him about it because Ian wants us to scale larger, which, of course, as a friend, and he helped us with our LA studio.
He's a partner in that, right?
Yeah. Like,
shout out to Ian.
Yeah, shout out to Ian.
Master investor.
It was tough because I got so angry at him in this conversation. And later I understood why he did it. Ian's thinking tens of millions. I'm thinking that too. I'm just not thinking it tomorrow. And so I want it to be longer. I want to fucking sell our shit and fucking live on the beach, bro. Okay? But the thing is...
So how much did he want you to raise the prices to?
Double, maybe more than double.
Ian, like $10,000.
But the thing, though, that Ian didn't understand
for an hour.
Like, bro, because I said to him, he's like, well, yo, you know how much money people making and you just charging them like $300? Like, how does that make sense? I'm like, bro, you're rich. When you walk into McDonald's, you don't pay more. You know what I mean? Like,
the volume play.
It really is. And like, I know what he's saying because we've been working on film sets and shit like that, Ian's thinking like, yo, fuck this small shit, go bigger. But for us, the small shit is still us. People know us because we started small shit. I'm not a celebrity
honestly,
that made a podcast.
The ethos of when we first came up with this, it was like, yo, we want to have a space for us. Because I was thinking, it's like, we hire mostly POC, and it's just, it was intentional at first, but...
What you mean? Yes,
she was a little bit OD with it. I
said black in all caps.
Whoever's going to be the best employee.
And now we've got 2 Asians, man. We really diversified.
That's all it takes.
But it was more important for me to offer this service and especially have our community be able to use it. Because it's like, we are in Soho. Like, you go shopping around here, it's very expensive. But I wanted to keep prices down so we can service everybody. And that was really important. Even when the studio's gotten booked out, where we are at the place where we can raise prices, I still want to keep it at where it's at. Because now the people who are just scraping by, it's like, if we raise prices now, we'll make some more money, but now they can't use the studio anymore.
Yeah, you really fucked them over.
You priced them out.
Yeah.